Yeah, obviously Vizicachi is like a classic name to mention as well because he was someone who wasn't afraid to sort of like flout the meta of the day and play whatever champions he thought was strong and in whatever way. And in fact, if you look, based on things I've heard, like all his teams, basically he just had like saying how they played and they sort of played however he wanted to play. So, and as far as the top player, he obviously was going a little bit against some of what people expected, right? How would you describe like how you've tried to create your own style of play? Because again, like we said about the meta, when you're playing as a top lane, it's also going to depend who your teammates are. You know, like if you have a certain type of a player as AD carry, maybe you get to play the carries. Maybe if you have a guy who's just super resource heavy, obviously you're going to end up playing more supportive champions, right? In your career, people's perspective has been that basically people I notice almost try to make you like the new Odo Amne. Like your job is just to always be the weak side player and do well in like the losing matchup and like join a team fight or something. Now, how much of that basically, how much say did you have in that? Like, did you craft some of that yourself? Is it the teams you had? Like, would you choose to play that way if you were in whatever the ideal team for Alphari is?
I think it was a bit of both, honestly. So I think like on Misfits and on Origin, I was pretty much like more of like a weak side player, you could say. Especially on Misfits, I think we had we had Hans, and Hans, I still think this, by the way, or like maybe not as extreme, but I always thought that Hans was like super good as like being played around. He was like really good at creating his own leads in lane. He's like a super good laner, right? Very talented when it comes to like playing Draven and Kalista, and he's like smashing lanes. But then if he didn't get played around, it just didn't work as well. And this is like not only like his fault, it's also like maybe like I wasn't as experienced playing carries, etc. too. But this was like definitely like the team style on Misfits. It like became like the game was just like so much harder if we didn't, focus on like trying to snowball our bot lane. Then we just kind of didn't know what to do. Honestly, like mid game in like a lot of games. So on Misfits, it was kind of like we tried a little bit sometimes, but we didn't really try. It was like just kind of impossible, to be honest, to like hard play around top. So that's kind of like a situation of the team. And then on Origin, I think I had like a little bit more flexibility. Like on Misfits, I didn't feel flexible at all, to be honest. But on Origin, I think I was a bit more flexible. Like I think I had like more selfless players. Like I think Patrick and Mithy at the time were pretty flexible. Like they could do whatever. They could play like Draven and Thresh, etc. And they could like try to smash lane, or they could, they could chill a bit. But I think the problem with, like I said, it's not all like the team sport, right? But the problem with Origin as well was that we didn't like to roam too much. And like when I think on Origin, so if you would play so this is also like the period when like Vitality was playing with like Cabo, Mowgli, I think it was, and like Shizuke. And basically what Vitality were doing every game, they were just like 3-man top no matter what. This is Vitality for years, right? And we were like just like not good enough to like roam or match. So I think I was like default a little bit more. It's also what I was comfortable with, playing for like 2 years of Misfits, 3 years, whatever, to like playing more weak side. But it's also like, it's not also my team's fault, right? It's also like I could be better too. So I think on Origin and Misfits, it was like a little bit forced to be a weak side player. But it's also, like I said, it's also like the easiest way to play the game because it's really hard to actually carry from top. And if you like get ahead top, but your bot lane falls behind, then usually you're supposed to lose as a top laner anyway. Yes. It's actually like you have to. You can obviously still win, but you're not supposed to win most of the time, basically. And then when we got Upset is also, he's very demanding.
He wants resources, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I have a lot of respect for him. I think Upset's super good. But yeah, I think on Origin, it's like kind of, a little bit just, it had to be more playing to like be self-sustainable, right? Same for Misfits. I think now on Team Liquid, this is like the first time I really felt like, I can like be selfish, honestly. I can be like greedy in my career for like a very long time at least. So that's pretty nice. It might also just be because like other top sides are not as good as in Europe a lot of the time. But I think it's because like I have like really good teammates who are like really selfless compared to what I'm used to, where a lot of the times bot laners, they want to be played around, which is fair enough. Like the role is pretty fucking broken. But yeah, I mean, tactical and core, they're just like really, they don't mind, they want to be played around, but they're open to discussions.
Since you have this reputation of like, even if he has like the slightly bad matchup, he always gets like, even in CS or has like slight CS lead, etc. Right? How much of that is something you actually think about? Because like, basically, one thing I'm also asking is like, is it actually fun to play a top lane if you know you're the weak side, or you are in this scenario like you're in a slightly worse matchup and you have to just sort of like your job isn't like I'm going to smash the lane and win it's like just try not to lose hard. Like that doesn't sound that fun as an outsider, Do you find a way to mentally get into it and find a like, for example, when famously Soaz said all that stuff about the dog champions, he still played them to win the game. Like, he acknowledged that was what you should play at the time. So is there a way to get into it and still be sort of like turned on by it? It's not as sexy as like a mid lane and 1v1 killing the other guy, is it? It's like there's not a lot of that.
I mean, definitely sometimes. Like I think it's kind of relaxing sometimes to play like, it's like an AFK champion in lane like Gragas or Maokai, right? Where it's very low skill, honestly, to like lane with, compared to like other champions top lane. So you can just you don't have to like call for your jungle to help you. Your job is just like chill and just, worst case, you just, get shit on a little bit, but that's your job. Your job is to kind of just, not demand resources. So you don't have to like stress when it comes. You just like, your job is to just chill and try to survive as best you can. So I think actually sometimes it's relaxing. I would say a lot of the time, like 1v1, even if I'm in like a losing matchup, I'm pretty happy. Like I'm pretty chilling. I guess it can be, pretty stressful if suddenly it's like the enemy mid laner is roaming, or like just suddenly the jungler's coming top. When it's like a situation where they're like sending numbers top side and we're like not getting like a big lead bot, or like getting like enough bot, then it's like a bit more stressful, right? Then it feels pretty bad. Then like playing like a dog champ feels pretty awful, but that's sometimes you just lose early game, and sometimes you just have to, you have to get killed. So, but I think like just chilling in lane with the tank is pretty nice sometimes. It's like a nice change of pace compared to like playing Camille or like Aurelia or something, where if you play these champions, you have to like be really on point with like your jungle synergy. And if you like don't communicate really well, or like mid lane too, like if like, you fuck up, basically it's like so punishing, and you like want to play aggressively with these champions to be able to play. So you have to like be really focused during lane. You have to communicate a lot. Whereas, if you play like Maokai, Gragas, etc., of course you can still make plays with your jungle and you can like still set up plays during lane. But a lot of the time you just, you're just like taking a back seat and just like waiting for your team to start using you pretty much. Whereas before you have to like use your team.